Grand Risings, Kings, Queens, Gods, and Goddesses. Don't scroll. Just listen. This some real news for you. The former Lieutenant Governor of Georgia, Jeff Duncan, has switched parties. He left the Republican Party. That's why I say in Georgia, our Republicans are a little different. Now they still cricket as fuck. Don't get me wrong, because they are. They still hold Georgia back from a lot of things because of the deep ties of racism. Yes. For example, Marta. Atlanta traffic can be controlled by rail and bus. This is not a really humongous city, but like in the inner city, I think we have like over 500K in the city, like the city of Atlanta, but in the metro Atlanta area, it's over 6 million people. And our infrastructure on the roads is only really for those 500K. They didn't think that the boom on the suburbs of Atlanta would be the way that it is. But through gentrification, redlining, they're doing a reverse. Because I remember, well, I ain't gonna say I remember, but my husband has told me that he was like, in 1998 was the first time that they heard a shout out on V103 from Stone Mountain. He told me that back in the day, black people didn't go past Gresham. We didn't live past Gresham. Past Gresham, you didn't live. I think it was past. What was the first beginning on Northside Drive, Bankhead. All of that was predominantly white. North Fulton, the east side, east of Gresham, all that was predominantly white, and it was a lot of clans. Stone Mountain, as y'all know, Stone Mountain is like the home of the clan. So, with that, with all the whites that was out in the suburbs, they did not want Marta in the suburbs because they said, oh, that's gonna bring blacks and it's gonna bring our property value down. How would I don't see how public transportation would bring your property value down. That is a myth. It actually, public transportation brings your property value up. It doesn't bring it down, it brings it up, because that's an amenity that you have public transportation within your neighborhood. So whoever came up with that lie and said public transportation bring your property value down, that's a lie. It doesn't even sound logic. So they didn't want the blacks out in Stone Mountain and things like that. So they stopped the rails. Like they stopped the rails, and they stopped rail service and bus service. They have limited bus service and rail service. Gwinnett counties have limited bus service. They don't even have rail service that go out to Gwinnett. They don't have rail service that go out to Cobb County. There's no rail service that's going out to Douglasville. There's no rail service going out to Conyers. There's no rail service going out to it goes to the airport in Clayton County. That as far as it go. It doesn't go to Lovejoy. It doesn't go to Henry County. It doesn't go to any of those counties. All of these make up Metro Atlanta, but there's no rail services outside of the perimeter. The last time Marta had an upgrade was in 2020. in 2000, so 25 years ago. Now, the other metro, like in Washington D.C., they have grown. They keep growing, but because of the stagnant racism that we have here in Georgia, is causing for rural areas to lose. You could have access to jobs if you would expand, if you would not vote no on expanding rail service and putting MARTA in your neighborhood, in your towns. It's time for you to go to school. Ain't it time for you to go?
Yeah, that's what I'm about to do.
Okay, have a good day.
All right, Mom.
All right, you going over your dad's house tonight?
Probably.
Okay, call me and let me know.
Okay, I'll call you.
All right, have a good day.
All right, Mom.
All right. Sorry about that, y'all. So, Atlanta cannot progress because the rail and bus service will not expand because of that stagnant racism. It's time for us to get out of that. We could solve a lot of the emission problems that we have here in Atlanta if we were to put more clean energy into effect. We're steady trying to expand the highways. They're finna put like $44 billion towards expanding Georgia 400. When that $44 billion could have went towards expanding MARTA. Expand MARTA farther than North Springs. I guarantee you, people that stay up 400, they will ride the train. Let me tell you, they are rich, but that's why they rich, because they like to save money. And if they had an effective rail service, because it's a lot of the Asian and the Indian population up in that area, they would definitely get on the train and the bus. If they had sufficient transportation in those areas. But you have that's gonna cause for the blacks and the Latinos to come to Alpharetta. No, it's not. The blacks that come to Alpharetta is blacks that can afford to live in Alpharetta and Johns Creek and all that. If you can afford to live there, they already there. They live there. A lot of blacks live in Alpharetta. We need to get out of that. A lot of blacks live in Johns Creek. We need to get out of that. We should have transportation going all the way to Gainesville. No lie. Going north. East Cobb. We should have, we do have bus services, but we should have more bus service and train services going all the way up to Canton. On the south side, we do have bus services going to Newton, but they are very slow. But we should have bus and train service going all the way to Sonoya. On the east side, it should be going all the way to Covington. On the west side, it should be going all the way to Douglasville. If we was to have bus and rail service like that, the problems that we have with traffic would disappear. And it will bring more jobs to the metro Atlanta area. I don't see how is that not a thing? Then this belt line that they put all this money. Now this was an investigation that needs to happen here in Atlanta. Where the hell the money for that belt line? I don't see nothing but some concrete and some damn trees. That's not what the belt line's supposed to have. A street car on it. It's supposed to be a means of green and clean energy transport. It was so much with the belt line, but y'all lied. That was some bullshit. That was so y'all could ride. Y'all got these investors in here, bought up all these houses, and raised the prices so high to push the black population out of the city of Atlanta. Y'all need us in the metro so y'all can gerrymander the congressional seats. And still, here we go with this stagnated racism. And it just time out for that. We trying to move forward. We want to be in the frontier fort of education. And it's going to be a part 2 because I got more to talk about. But we trying to move forward and we can't.